energy, talking 42nd Street. Alley hoop finger roll, ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs, step back, hit it 3. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy, just to see the Knicks play, make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us, whole city is wild. This is New York, why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty, yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese, or the lobster milk with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live by. Hey, yo, first quarter in, we gon' turn it up. Gotta warm up first, then we taking it dub. By the third quarter in, no, they ain't catching up. Gotta stay in the lead before the shot clock buzz. If the Knicks get a win, we gon' do it again. Make the finals once before, we gon' do it again. Bounce back in the fourth, we gon' do it again. It's been a while since the chip, but we gon' do it again, yeah. Yo, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Yo, put your hands up. If you from New York, put your hands up. Yo, look, put your hands up. If you rockin' with the Knicks, put your hands up. Look, put your hands up. Hey, yo, New York City, put your hands up. Sky, baby.
What up?
Fiji sticks.
What
Yes,
up?
sir.
What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, everybody? Welcome to the Church Guys Sports Show podcast for today. It is the 3rd
God
of
answers
June,
prayers.
the 3rd of June, 2025. And I know we told y'all after Game 6 that we were taking a break and we weren't going to be on for a little bit. I think J-Mac just came in. Yep. But we got some stuff that we absolutely have to discuss. Some news that is breaking, and we absolutely have to talk about it because we wouldn't be us if we
Why you
didn't
sound
talk
like you
about it.
mourning? Why you sound like you upset about it?
Can I do my opening, please? You're ruining my entire opening right now.
No, because you're
We have
dragging
some
this thing
news
like this is bad
that is-
news. Like
we
I want
have
to tell
some
you,
news that
but
let
I
me-
don't know how to say
can-
this to you.
Can I do my job? Can I do my job? Let me do what I do. But we have some news that we have to talk about. I'm sure you've all heard, but we must discuss it. So the vacation is officially off. The vacation is officially off. And that is today, we have to talk about the fact that R-Truth has been released from the WWE. I'm sorry. I just need to troll the fans real quick. I had to do it.
Hey man, little Jimmy.
I absolutely had to do it. R-Truth has been released from the WWE. But no, that is not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today is the breaking news from earlier today, as reported by Sham Charania from ESPN. Breaking news: the New York Knicks have done the unthinkable. They did the unthinkable. The Knicks have parted ways with head coach Tom Thibodeau. And I was in the middle of my workday, minding my business, chasing kids. That's what I do. We're in the middle of doing our summer camp at my job, and things are crazy. And all of a sudden, my phone goes off. And I'm wondering how it got through because, like I told the fellas in our regular text chat, like I check WhatsApp during the day, so I see when they post messages there. But my regular text and regular notifications don't come through. But this notification came through. It's like God wanted me to see it. It's like the Lord said, "I have answered your prayer, son." And the prayer of all of the hosts, except for one, of this show here. Tom Thibodeau, who is no longer the head coach of the New York Knicks. Now, the reason why I'm not rejoicing, L, is I'm not happy that a man got fired. I want to be clear on that. I am not going to sit here and say that I thought he was the right guy for the job, but I have to respect the job that he has done in restoring the Knicks to respectability over the last 5 years. So it is a bittersweet day. No, I don't think he was the guy to get us over the hump. But, again, thank you, Tibbs. We are a respectable franchise again. We are respected in the league again. And we do owe that to the culture that he has built as far as that goes. But Tom Thibodeau is gone, y'all.
L, do you got a piece of paper? Just do like Shaq and just crumble the paper up right now, because the monologue is too long. It's too long. Let's get to the meat of the matter.
Mr. Green, you be careful. You are a guest on this show.
I said, first of all,
you could do that on the Green Room in a month.
first of all, let me say this.
By the way, Green Room preparing in July. Look out for it.
Tibbs did not get fired
He
because
was relieved of his
playoff.
duties.
He did not get fired because of playoff meltdown. Tibbs did not get fired
No.
for any of that. Tibbs got fired because of a 10 record against the top team. Is it 0-10 or 0-11?
11.
That is the reason why he got fired. They knew from the gate that the only way that they was keeping him was a championship. And I said this to y'all on one of our shows. The only thing that can save his job is a championship. I also said on our show, our last show, that extension that they gave him was going to be severance pay. I said it. It was going to be severance pay because this team was no longer listening to this coach. Not only that, he was not going to change. I would have given him another season because, at the point that you giving this man, I don't know how much the extension was, but
$10 million.
$10 million a season for
$10 million a season.
Yeah, for 4 years. This was the first year of the deal.
I'm not happy about him losing his job. Guess what? He's happy about losing his job because he gets to have $50 million to do nothing. He's ecstatic. He's ecstatic. You not happy about him losing his job? This man just went home and said, I got $50 million and I don't have to do nothing. Are you kidding me? Bye-bye. He was not going to change. He was not going to stop the crate. We got 13 people on the bench. You only using 6. He had to go. Jay, I know you were saying that it was not going to happen, but something deep down in my gut said, this man is out of here. And I knew he was out of here. I yield the floor so that I can eat this pastrami sandwich from Junior.
I was eating my
I thought you was about to show me one
my
of those
dumplings.
burgers.
I was eating my dumplings.
I thought you was about to say you was eating one of those burgers from the spot that you went and got burgers from.
I started to do that tonight.
That would have made all of us mad.
I really did, especially since Willie was coming on. I got one upstairs in the freezer, but I said, no, I'm not going to do it tonight.
That would have upset everybody.
I have to admit, I was the one that said I didn't think he was going to get fired, but I also said I wouldn't have been upset if he did because I wanted him out of here. Y'all know the reason why everybody loves to kid me about the time we left and went to the Brooklyn Nets. Well, guess why?
What was it for, like 18 hours or something like that?
Guess why? Guess why we went?
I still say y'all cursed the Nets
because Tibbs lost to the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes,
And
I
they
remember that game.
And they didn't even have Wembanyama yet. That was the year before Wembanyama came.
That's correct.
And they lost that game out there in San Antonio. And ever since then, I've been saying,
Pastor Larry, you stupid.
I want this guy out of here. This guy, I've been saying this for 3 years, Willie Green. They'll tell you, for 3 years.
You sure you know he ain't coming?
I've been leading the charge. No, he's coming. I spoke to him.
Well, he better get on in here.
He's coming. But let me take you back. Game 2. Do y'all remember something significant happened in that game? Y'all remember what happened? Y'all remember what happened in game 2?
Other than the fact that we lost?
Was it the friction on the bench?
It was that, but who got benched in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left? Brought back in the game.
Jalen.
Karl Anthony Towns was benched in the fourth quarter and brought back with 2 minutes left. I know you said he didn't lose the job because of this series. Oh, this was the cherry on the top.
This was the dagger.
This was the dagger. You benched Karl Anthony Towns, you're down 0-1. And you bench your star player. And you throw the game. And they ask you in the press conference, hey, coach, why did you do this? You know what his answer was? I was trying to find it. In the Eastern Conference Finals, down 0-2, you bench your star player, and you say, the reason why is I'm trying to find it. Secondly, all season long, what have we been complaining about? Drop coverage, drop coverage, drop coverage, drop coverage, drop coverage. And what does he play in the ECF against a potent three-point shooting team? Drop coverage.
The ECF and in the conference semis. Because he did it against Boston as well.
Drop coverage. It's just that Boston wasn't hitting nothing. The Pacers wasn't going to miss. Drop coverage, drop coverage. And the third thing. Come on. Go all the way back.
Come on, 3 points.
To the season.
He preaching.
When Mikal Bridges comes out and says.
That was it too.
Come on. He says, and this is the Iron Man of the league talking, who hasn't missed a game since high school, said you need to play your bench. What does this coach say? Butler, what did the coach say?
Didn't happen.
That conversation never happened.
He said the conversation didn't happen. So not only are you denying you're calling one of your vet players a liar. You can't do that, man. You can't do it. You lost the team. He lost the team. And I know he's at 3 point, but I got a fourth one that I'm going to yield to Willie.
This is your close.
This is my closing point.
Don't y'all ever when preachers get out here?
He's in the press conference after they lose to Indiana. Y'all probably don't remember this, but I put it up in the chat. He highlighted everything wrong with the team
but his
except
coaching.
himself.
But his coaching. Yep. Notice when the Knicks lose a game, and this is to your point, I'm tagging in. When the Knicks lose a game and they talk to Jalen Brunson after the game, Jalen's first statement is, I gotta be better.
Yes.
I didn't do this.
Yes.
I didn't do that. I have to be better.
We never heard that from Tibbs. We never heard it from Tibbs, guys. You think management wasn't sitting there looking at that? On top of the fact that they blew the first game, you really thought he was going to have the voice of the locker room going over into next year? They said, no way is this team going to respond next year. This is going to be a hangover. That's what I wanted to say.
Right, Kevin. Second close.
I'm Baptist. I get 2 closes.
Right. Baptist preachers get 2 closes.
We get 2. But y'all understand what I'm saying?
Doors of the church are open.
Wait. Willie got to come. He's the fourth preacher. Go ahead, Willie.
Let the church
This is
say,
a platform service.
let the church say amen.
That's Willie's phone, preacher. Willie's always got this static on his phone.
Listen,
Willie need to get some earbuds, some AirPods, some something.
I think
'Cause
I got
that's what it
something.
is.
But I'm going to try and come back in, but let me make one point. Jay Mack, you're
ahead.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. L, you're absolutely right. D-Lo, you're absolutely right. But we have been speaking about this for the last 2 years. That you cannot teach an old dog new tricks.
New tricks.
The New York Knicks and the fans have spoken. They are tired of getting almost to the promised land with no promise.
Well, I don't know, because this is the closest we've come. And this coach did bring us here. This is the closest we've come. I don't know if we are tired of getting close to the promised land and failing, because we ain't been this close for 25 years. I don't know what you're talking about.
There is an answer.
I think
out
they
there.
realized what Chicago realized beforehand and what Minnesota realized. Tibbs can get you to a point. Tibbs can change your culture. Tibbs can get you playing the right way. But Tibbs cannot take you over the hump. Willie
He
gonna
can't get out
try
of
to
his-
get his phone together.
He can't get out of his own way. That's the problem. Tibbs can't get out of his own way, guys. We've been saying this. He coaches to a system. He doesn't coach to the game.
So I'm glad you said that, J-Mac, because I want to play a clip from Ian Begley, New York Knicks insider, who reports on the Knicks from SNY. So this is a guy who is close to the team. So I believe this take more than I believe some of the others that I've heard from people who say they're in the know. Ian Begley has always seemed to know what's going on inside the Knicks locker room. In fact, he was the first one that reported the conversation between Tibbs and Mikal Bridges that Mikal is saying never, that Tibbs is saying never happened. So, because he reported it and then they asked him about it, and that's when he came out publicly and said it. So, understand this is what came from him. Let's check it out. Wait, did we lose L in the process?
Nah, he dipped out for a minute.
There he is.
Mm-hmm. This twin pastrami sandwich from Junior's is bodying me right now.
I said it was just taking him out.
They got good. Julius Quiet as kept got some great pastrami.
Hold on 1 second.
They got them little pastrami sliders.
A little bit of a technical difficulty. I'm going to get it on in just a second.
Well, why are you saying that? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's also a report out that the players during the exit meeting, it was brought up to Tibbs that the players said they did not know their roles.
Oh, yes. We've heard that. We've definitely heard that.
How, and that's why, you want to know why Jalen is dribbling the ball, is dribbling the air out? Because guess what? No, if they don't know their roles, who is JB passing the ball to?
Absolutely. David Wright is here.
He said it's out. I'm going to let him say it. Yeah!
Look at his face.
Yeah! Yeah, Butler, come back on. Yes.
Butler
Yes.
came back just for this.
Yes, Butler. Yes.
This is all your fault.
He said it's our fault.
This is all your D-Lo, Butler, especially you, McCann. This is all your.
You think we sad
You've
about
been
it? You
calling
can
for
blame
this
us all
man's
you
job.
want.
You've been calling for his job since the season was going on, and y'all said if he get us to the Eastern Conference Finals, he can stay.
No, we said
Hey.
that his job was probably going to be safe if he got us to
Dave,
Eastern Conference
Dave,
Finals.
Pastor, I told you today, it's the way that they lost. The way that they lost
You
was
sideways,
not
Willie.
going to allow him to stay. It's the way that they lost. They
There we
lost
go.
without a fight.
Oh, wait, we lost you. There we go. Yep, sure did.
We good now? We
That's
good now?
what you got to understand. It's
Yeah,
the
you
way.
good now.
It's the way that they lost, man. They got there and didn't fight. They dropped the
We weren't
first
even
two
supposed
games
to get
at
there.
home. What?
Let me play this clip from Ian Begley. Let me play
Play
this clip
the-
from Ian Begley.
Play the clip, because I'm ready.
Let me
I'm
play
ready
the
for
clip.
Davey.
Ian, you reported on Twitter/X that the firing was made by team president Leon Rose with the support of owner James Dolan. Tell us more about how this happened and just what's happened since the season ended.
Right. So in the aftermath of the Game 6 loss to the Pacers, the Knicks were conducting a review of the organization. Now, usually what teams do is they have exit interviews with their executives conducting the interviews with players. This was different. This setup for the Knicks was different. It was everyone kind of being reviewed, including obviously head coach Tom Thibodeau, members of his staff. Not all players were involved. Top players were called in for the meeting. And, Knick owner Jim Dolan was there, but to say it was Leon Rose's decision is accurate because he is the one who would sign off on it. I mean, look, in the past, there were instances where the Knicks were on shaky ground. Tom Thibodeau was on shaky ground, but Leon Rose had never always chosen to stick with Tom Thibodeau and not, push this button that was pushed today. I go back to, even the All-Star break of the Kemba Walker season, Jim Dolan gave Leon the green light to do something. He chose not to. And there was another instance. So now it's different, right? Leon Rose obviously saw something different over the past year plus that led him to believe that, hey, this is the right move for the franchise. James Dolan backing Leon Rose there. And that's significant because Tom Thibodeau signed an extension, I think, last offseason, and there's at least $30 million guaranteed on an extension. And look, if Tom Thibodeau does not hook up with another franchise here, the Knicks will owe him all of that money. So that's a big check to pay, and that tells you a lot about how they felt about this direction that they're going.
That's New York Knicks
Severance.
insider Ian Begley, directly from SNY. He's in the know. And he said that the Knicks did something different with exit interviews this year that they don't normally do. Go ahead.
Let me just address Davey, because Davey, I know that you love
Y'all want to get Davey.
and I know that you have your church program to love Tibbs. And I really admire your loyalty. And I'm going to say this because it's very important for us to say. Tibbs did something for this franchise that was not able to be done for a very long time. The culture has changed under Tibbs. We are a plus 500 percentage winning team under Tibbs. When we got Tibbs, we had no culture. We was a 300, we was a sub 500 team. We hadn't been to the playoffs in 7 years. With Tibbs, we were a plus 500 team. The culture has changed. We've been to the playoffs 4 times out of the 5 years that he has been here. Here's the problem, and I need to say this to you, Davey. If you keep getting close, but you never get it, it's time to change. It's time to change. I can't keep getting to the door and then I can't go through the door.
Can't kick it in. That's right.
And so something's got to give. Me personally, I would have given Tibbs until mid-season to see what was happening. But this is not the kind of team that you got to wait till mid-season. This team is built to win. From the one option to the 12th man, everybody on this team can play. We don't get to see them play because Tibbs won't play more than 6 players, 7 players a game. Why is that? And why do we as a team have to be subject to his stubbornness and his pride and his inability to make adjustments? This is not just about the fans at this point. This is about the player on the team that don't want to waste their talent, that don't want to sit there knowing that they can contribute and the coach don't play them.
Can I jump in on your point?
Jump right in.
Dave, you got to understand this. You were celebrating about Tibbs playing the bench, but guess what? You put them in an uncompromising position because they barely played all year. Now you got them in a pressure cooker situation. I think they did admirably in spite of that.
Yeah.
But the point was, they never got to play. We saw glimpses from the bench that we never got to see in the season because this guy was coaching to a system. And it jeopardized the team. I'm not taking away from what he did. Fine, he got rewarded for that. That's why he got the money. But what about the fans getting what we want?
Even in blowouts.
When we're winning,
not play the bench. He wouldn't play the bench.
You got a 25-point lead in a regular season game that don't mean nothing, and Jalen Brunson is still on the court.
Rick Brunson had to come over several times in the season to tell him, all right, Tibbs, you
and sometimes several times in the same game.
Yes, you gonna take him out now? You gonna take him out now? Come on, you gonna tell me you ain't seen that?
And if you watch Rick Brunson's body language, you can see him getting frustrated.
No. Here's the killer part. When Tibbs was asked about it, you know what he said? Oh, I had a bad experience. We was up by 20 one time, and
he got PTSD, and now he don't take nobody out.
I took the starters out,
and he's a coach. You're supposed to get over that. You a coach. You got to get over that.
Can I jump in here? Well, we're talking about a guy that came from an era of hand checking and being able to adjust with players that were capable of adjusting to situations.
You just said that man's not getting another NBA job.
Oh yeah,
he's not.
Oh, he's not getting another NBA job. This is it.
Not as a head coach.
He's not. Not as a head coach. No way.
This is it.
Wow.
Davey can't take it. Davey about to die. It shouldn't matter to you, Davey, because you are a Knicks fan for life, and it don't matter where he get a job. It won't matter to you because you are a Knicks fan for life. And when we play whatever team he's coaching, you're going to be rooting that we wax their tail all over.
Just like he did when Julius Randle was here. Julius Randle. R.J. Barrett. Remember those?
You know what?
The fact that we're even celebrating him playing a bench, you don't find that problematic, Dave?
I find it problematic that
it's a bench. They're supposed to be played.
What I find problematic is we're celebrating the firing of somebody who has got us further than we've been in 25 years.
But Dave, you didn't hear what Butler just said to you?
I already said. I repeat it. He said, even last year, we got to the second round last year. This year, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. So it seems like every year we're getting further. So next year...
But can you say that's because of the coach, or is it in spite of the coach?
It's got to be because of the coach.
Nope.
But will the New York fan base keep stomaching that type of ceiling?
Dave, you got to realize.
Not all of New York want Tibbs gone.
Most of them do.
Some folks that give him another year. This is the first year that he had with his crew. This is the first year he had with Cat.
But I'm gonna tell you what Deep sixed him. You wasn't on here. He benched Cat. I told you that on the phone. He benched Cat in the fourth quarter of game 2. You can't bench your star player and don't have an answer for why you did it.
I don't know why he did that.
He didn't have an
He
answer.
don't know why
But
he did it.
Right.
And
Dave,
to be and
it's all
he
right
was
if me and you don't know why, but he needs to know why.
and he's been familiar
he's
with this
getting
player
paid
before.
$10 million a year to know why.
He's getting paid $10 million a year to know why.
And it's not like he don't know who Cat is or what Cat was before he
Right.
came to New
He
York.
coached him in Minnesota.
Right.
But
He knew what he got. He knew what he had.
But Dave, the other thing, you didn't hear this when we were on earlier. In the exit interviews that they did with the players said they did not know their roles, and that's why I'm glad Butler's back on. So Butler, this speaks to why you was wondering why Jalen was dribbling the air out, the basketball, coming down, dribbling the air out, and I kept telling y'all that was the Tibbs offense. Now you see it really was the Tibbs offense because the other players did not know their role. It was the Tibbs offense. You dribble it down and you find it, and when you get down, if there's the players open, pass it or you shoot it.
So you're
That was
saying we
it.
got to the Eastern Conference Finals with people just lollygagging on the court.
Dave, the Eastern Conference is wide open next year. That's the other reason why they got rid of him. They can't afford, with Boston going down.
You know, you can win in this league with talent.
You gotta have a scheme.
But you
gotta
can't
have
win.
a plan.
You can win games in this league with talent. You can win a series or two in the playoffs with talent. But when you get to the conference finals, you need coaching.
But Butler, you understand what I'm saying? When we were complaining about that Airbnb, now it comes out what we were saying. And even what you said last year. You said, I don't think they practice an offense. That's what you said last year.
They don't practice offense. We saw that in the Indiana series.
But they practice. He's a defensive-minded coach. He's gonna get another
That's
job.
great. But in the words of Carmelo Anthony, the game is still about a bucket.
That's right.
Right. And while he is a defensive-minded coach, he's coaching in an offensive-minded league.
And everybody's blaming Cat for not being defensive-minded and Brunson. I get all that. But you're going to tell me you would rather him play drop coverage and give up a 3 than to have that man run out to the 3 and make them drive? That's bad coaching to me.
But J-Mac, the problem with that is that he doesn't devise up a defensive scheme that can cover them up. And that's the problem.
That's it right there, Willie. Because you're going to tell me, again, let's go back into the...
Golden State does it with Curry every night.
And
They
I
cover
want
him
you
up.
I want you to understand, David, it wasn't this series that got him fired.
It was the
this
cherry on
entire
top, though.
season. You got Karl Anthony Towns here, who you know is a defensive liability. What did Chris Finch do in Minnesota? He put him next to Rudy Gobert to cover him up.
The 4-time defensive player of the
Now,
year.
I get you did not have the. Now I get it. You didn't have the block nest monster. You didn't have Mitch at the beginning of the season. You had Ariel Huckporty. You had Precious Achua. They're not Mitchell Robinson, no, but they are serviceable defensive bigs that could have covered up some of those shortcomings, especially if you're going to start Josh Hart in a position to where teams adjusted and said, we're going to put our big on Josh Hart because he's not out here to shoot. And then you didn't tell Hart, listen, they leave you open, make that open 3 every time you get it. You didn't instruct Josh Hart to do what was necessary to keep those teams honest. You didn't do any adjusting.
Bro, I'll give you one more adjustment. And Willie Green, Butler, D'Lo, I even bring this up to you on the phone, Dave, when I spoke to you. How you don't play Precious Achua on Siakam?
Well, Siakam,
how that man don't get to play him?
After Siakam killed us in game 2, I would have said, Precious, that's your assignment for the rest of this series. Lock him down.
And you don't bring, he played 2 minutes.
I can tell you why.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because we paying OG Anunoby to do that. We paying Mikal Bridges to do that. Those that we call
OG
them wing
Anunoby
tops.
and Mikal Bridges are wings. Pascal Siakam is a traditional power forward in terms of size. So OG is not as strong as OG is. Don't get me wrong. I love OG's defense. He's probably one of the best defensive wings in the league. But if you got a guy with skills like Siakam who can back him down in the post, you need a bigger body on him.
You need a dog. And
You have
OG
PJ
is
Tucker.
a dog.
You have
Right, you
PJ
got
Tucker on the
PJ
end of the
Tucker.
bench.
Now
And
we got to
PJ
look
Tucker.
at who is next. Who's coming in here next? They're going to take these because now it's championship or bust now.
Absolutely. I
It's
agree.
always been that way.
But this is New York. It's always championship or bust.
Right.
No,
but the
we
key to
weren't
always
expecting the championship this year.
No.
That's not what we're saying.
Once
No,
they
that's not what I'm
got
saying.
past Boston, once they made it past Boston,
Everybody was putting them in the finals.
exactly.
it was the easiest way to the championship.
Once they got past Boston, everybody, Willie Green put them in the finals, and he has
came-
not
sure
believed
did.
in the
Green
Knicks
came
all
on this
year.
broadcast, and for
I
years
sure
he's
did.
been killing Brunson and saying he ain't a superstar. Willie Green came on this broadcast and said, "I gotta concede, the Knicks are going to the finals." He
We were
said
2
it.
games away.
I sure did.
A lucky bounce. I ain't never seen. It was witchcraft in that bounce.
Forget
That
about the
ball went up
lucky
in the air.
bounce. Let's talk about the 14 points, the 12 points prior to that.
And he sat there and watched him shoot him and then call timeout.
But he had one timeout left. You burn that timeout. Burn it. Hey, guys, what are we doing? Close out on Neesmith.
Yeah.
You got to redirect your team.
Or
Let's go back to the game in the previous series where he couldn't get Brunson and Cat back into the game. Brunson and Hart back into the game.
where he wouldn't call the timeout.
And he wouldn't because he had one timeout left and didn't want to burn
We
the
won that
timeout.
series.
You trying to win, right?
We won that series.
Okay,
Yes,
but he cost us that game.
These are the things that got him fired.
That's right.
No, that's what got him fired.
Coaching inefficiency.
He doesn't make in-game adjustments. He's a great, after the game is over, evaluate, okay, we're going to go into the next game like that.
Yeah.
But if they switch it up during the game, he has no plan B. That's the problem.
He is so one track because, again, and I said it on our last broadcast, this guy, and this is not conjecture, there's stats to back this up. He is the best coach out of a timeout offensively in basketball in terms of getting a
That's
basket.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me you have the ability to make the adjustments. You're just too stubborn to do it.
He's married to the system, guys. He's married. Just look.
My question is, what system is he married to?
He's married to defense and
Defense
no
and
offense.
give me a point guard who can carry my team.
That's it.
And every point guard,
Right,
every
Q.
point guard that
Tunnel vision
every
coach.
point guard that he's inherited,
He runs him
has
into the
dogged him.
ground.
He has
runs him
dogged
into the
him.
ground.
He has
And
dogged him.
I think
He's the reason why Jalen is getting beat up.
And I
Common sense,
think
another
Nick
adjustment. You got 4 ball handlers on the floor. Get Jalen off the ball for stretches.
And I believe Knicks management, that played into it too. They said, we are not going to let Brunson get beat up. We are not going to let him get injured. He took a pay cut to be here. He's the captain. They said, you know what? We are not going to let this happen to JB. We're not going to let this happen to JB.
And this goes back to the time where we had a conversation on the last show we had, and I said, why is he not playing Tyler Kolek? Why is he
DeLon
not
Wright.
He's a rookie. He ain't ready for
DeLon
that.
Wright?
How you
It
know
does
he
not
ain't
matter.
ready?
It does not matter. You don't know
Tyler
that.
Kolek lit up the Big East tournament, which is probably one of the most NBA-like college tournaments there is.
Guess what,
So then
Dave?
why
The
why
regular season
draft
would
him?
have got him ready.
If you don't believe
he
in
never
him,
even
why
played him in
draft
the
him?
But it
He
goes
never
back
played him.
to Obi Toppin. It goes back to Quentin Grimes. It goes back to players who you drafted high, who we as fans were high on because we saw them, and the only one that's still standing is Deuce McBride. And it's no slight to Deuce, but Quentin Grimes is athletic wing.
Right.
Look what he's doing in Philly.
Who
And the
has
right- and
developed
writing-
into his own offensively.
And let's think about it. The
Obi
writing might be
Toppin
on the
is a
wall for Deuce too.
serviceable backup 4.
Right.
We knew Obi wasn't going to be the starter as long as Randall was here, but he can get 20 minutes a game and do what he did for Indiana in the series.
What did Tibbs do when he was here to him? Park him in the corner.
Tibbs is out of here. Tibbs is out of here.
Come back on camera, fool.
This is not elementary school where we got to let everybody play. We can't play. You want a 15-man rotation. That's what you want.
No. We don't want a 15-man rotation. No. Nobody wants a 15-man rotation. But I just want my coach. I just want my coach to coach situationally. The only guys on the team who should have
Mike
locked in
Malone,
roles are your
Mike
starters.
Malone is gonna, Mike Malone is going to cure all of that.
Davey, the team that just bumped us went 12-13 deep.
And they're in the finals. The team they're playing goes 11 deep, by the way. The team they're playing against goes 11 deep.
They kept running fresh players at your coach's 7 or 8 players. He said, okay, you're going to play 7 or 8 now? All right, I'm going to go 10, 11. So every time he increased a little bit, he said, I'm going to increase more.
When Rick Carlisle saw one of his regulars didn't have it, he went to somebody else.
Ben Shepherd killed us, Davey. Ben Shepherd.
Uh-oh.
And let's think about something, right?
And Thomas Bryant, too. Thomas Bryant.
Point-to-point differential. Let's think about something. The Knicks would score a bucket, and it was more impactful. Their scoring was more impactful than the Knicks, especially on the inbound. Especially on the inbound, and the Knicks could not find an answer for it.
They were running off the inbound.
Dave, let me ask you this. Why did Carlisle press Brunson for 94 feet, but we didn't press Halliburton for 94 feet? Why didn't we do that?
Except in Game 5.
And you see what happened then. It worked.
And why did we go away from it in Game 6? Why?
Because I don't think that was a coach's decision. I think Mikal just made the decision. I'm going to get this guy.
I'm asking Pastor Dave, why, if you know they run the ball, they're going to get makes off of our mates?
Because
they're getting makes off of our mates. Why aren't you pressing the engine that makes it go, which is Halliburton? 94 feet.
Because
so that the shot clock is down by the time you get across half court.
Because Tibbs struck the rock.
I'm sure
that the rock and water came out.
I'm sure that crossed Tibbs' mind, but I'm not.
What?
I'm not sure it crossed his mind.
Did you say you?
I'm not going to. I'm not going to challenge him. I'd rather challenge his offensive schemes than his defensive schemes, because we know he knows defense.
Okay, so if he knows defense, why was he playing drop coverage?
The defense disappeared. Let me tell you
something. The defense gave up an average of 120 points a game in this series.
Y'all gonna watch the All-Star break. Y'all gonna be wishing we had that, Tibbs. You were 2-time coach of the year. They don't just get that away to folks. 2-time coach of the year.
What does it matter, Davey, if you can't win when it counts?
And that's what I tried to tell him during the season when he put.
What does it matter?
Tibbs fastest to 200 wins. He's the winningest.
And you know
all
what
that
you
stuff
said,
didn't stop him from getting fired.
You said he ain't never been out the second round. That's what you said.
In the words of Michael K., those wins are like putting lipstick on a pig when the goal is to win the championship.
Can I say
something? I got one after Butler. I got one for you, Dave.
You said he ain't never been out the second round. And the one time he do, they fired.
He made it one other time.
Coach of the Year is a regular season award.
Correct.
It's a regular season
You have to make adjustments
award.
when you have to play a team 6 times in 2 weeks.
Fellas,
7 times in 2 weeks.
I got one for him. Since he want to bring up regular season. I'm gonna bring up postseason.
Uh-oh.
What is Tibbs' record with the Knicks in the postseason?
Uh-oh.
You want to know what his record is, Davey?
Tell me.
24-23. He's one game over 500. One!
That means he's won more than he's lost.
That means he's only won one game over.
That means he's a 500 coach in the
That's
playoffs.
exactly what it means. And
And
that
that's
means
his ceiling. That's his ceiling.
That
Thank
means
you.
the
He
regular
can't
season
get
is
us
his
over the
ceiling.
top.
That's his ceiling.
Thank you. He's 24 and 23. He can't get us over the top.
This year, he got us over the. I'm telling you,
Dave,
we were 2 wins
24
away from the finals.
and 23.
By
24.
contrast, you ready for this? Eric Spoelstra, for instance, who we like to compare him to.
Who's the best coach in the league to me?
Playoff record alone. And Miami hasn't won a bunch of championships, but Spoelstra is 110 and 83 in the playoffs.
One more than he's lost.
570 winning percentage in the playoffs. That's just his playoff record.
This ice cream is good.
Butler. He's one game over 500 with the Knicks in the playoffs.
You know what we do? Let's go get Doc Rivers. He's the one.
Yeah. No,
Let's go get
absolutely
Doc
not.
Rivers.
Absolutely not.
You
Absolutely
need a
not.
coach that is going to encourage
Mike
running.
Malone is the antidote for the Knicks.
But they're not looking at him right now, according to reports.
That's okay. That's okay. He's sitting there waiting for the phone to ring. He's sitting
Keisha
there.
said
I'm
she
sorry,
just got
Keisha.
annoyed.
I'm sorry, Keisha. That stat just pissed you off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Keisha, you see I'm trying, Key. I'm trying. I'm trying to show him.
So let's shift
But
away
you're
from
saying
it.
Mike Malone.
I don't know if that's the answer. I don't know if that's the answer because Mike Malone is almost the same kind of coach as Tibbs.
He's old school too.
He has won a championship.
So has Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers will not work in New York.
No, never.
If
He
he
could
can't
never
work
sell
in
the fan
Milwaukee
base.
with arguably the second best player in the world.
The odds right
And,
now. The odds right now are in Vegas are of Cleveland associate head coach Johnny Bryant, who was former Knick associate head coach.
I
under
don't
Tibbs.
like that higher, guys. I know y'all been. I know D-Lo, you've been high on him.
The odds are right now.
I like that
Jay.
I like that Jay Wright look. I like that Jay Wright because
Jay
I don't
Wright,
think.
yes.
I don't think Jay Wright wants to coach in the NBA.
Jay Wright,
No,
yes.
you don't.
I don't think Jay Wright wants to.
Johnny
He's a grown
Bryant, I
man.
don't like. I don't like Johnny Bryant. I don't like that hire. I don't. If you're gonna make a move like getting rid of Tibbs, you can't bring in a rookie coach. You can't do
Sure
that.
can.
I agree
And
with that.
that's what I'm afraid of.
This is not a rebuild situation.
No, you can't
No.
bring in Johnny Bryant to this roster. The Knicks.
But Eric
I believe
Spoelstra is
they
not
need
walking
a-
through that door.
Listen, it's
they
either
need
Mike
a
Malone, Jason Kidd. I know y'all may not want to hear this, but I'm gonna tell you why. Budenholzer.
Nah.
I don't like it either. But
Taylor Jenkins.
what has been the talk
Possibly.
the last few days? What has been the trade that everybody's been talking about they want to happen for New York?
Giannis
Giannis.
Antetokounmpo to the Knicks.
Giannis. If they hire Budenholzer, I'm telling you now.
Oh, we
That's
know
the
Giannis will
only-
play for Budenholzer. You know Giannis will play for Budenholzer.
And that's why I'm saying they get that. That's why I'm throwing him out there.
Y'all don't
Because
get, you see, Milwaukee fired a team like Milwaukee would not fire Budenholzer unless Giannis want him fired.
Nah, not necessarily.
That's a true assessment. That's a true assessment.
This is the man that's almost the face of the league. They ain't gonna fire him unless they have a meeting with Giannis. So you're gonna meet with Giannis and Giannis agree to fire him, and then
Well, we don't.
Budenholzer and Giannis gonna work.
We've never heard a report come out of Milwaukee saying
that
Giannis
anything
was
to do
the
with it.
reason
From
why
what I
he got fired.
actually,
Now,
from what I
come on.
heard, my understanding is
you'll
it's
never
the
get that on the
opposite.
front page.
I heard
they'll
right,
never put
D-Lo.
that
I've heard the
I heard
opposite.
the opposite.
I heard Giannis was not happy
Giannis
with that
did
move
not
at all.
want him fired. That's what I heard.
I heard Giannis was not happy with that move.
Yes, he wasn't happy with him getting fired.
First of all,
Well, then
David,
this is the point. This is the point that
Milwaukee-
Giannis has to deal with too. Because let's think about it. If Giannis is sucking up all the money, they have no money to hire or pay a coach. when he's getting a supermax.
Jeff Van Gundy is not coming here. Okay, let's just first of all, he's a retread. He's an older coach.
And he don't like the Knicks no more.
And he don't like Dolan. That's why he quit.
Patrick Ewing was actually on that short list as well, but I don't see that either.
They're not hiring Patrick.
I would bring Patrick in as an assistant.
I like Mike Malone
as an assistant.
I can see a Teron Lue come in here too.
I would bring Patrick in as an assistant, and he worked exclusively with the big men.
I agree. I like that.
It's going to be a coach with experience, guys. You can't sell the fan base on Johnny Bryant. You can't.
You sure can.
You can't sell the fan base on that.
You can't sell the players on that.
Right. It's sentimental, but if you get rid of Tibbs, you can't trot him in front of him and say, okay, now here's your coach. That's going to take you to the finals. That ain't going to work. I believe in Mike Malone. I would love Mike Malone here.
Let's go to Greg Popovich. If he can hold on another.
Greg Popovich is retired.
If he can hold on,
stand up. They had to walk that man up to the podium.
Doctors in the world. Bring his stroke self here. We'll take him up here.
Dave, no, we're not doing that today.
I want Melo. I think Melo would be the perfect coach.
But
for this
I think in a rebuild he would, but you can't put him on this team who's championship ready. Again, guys, it's sentimental what we saying.
No. That's conflict of interest. Number one, that's conflict of interest. Nobody gonna take Melo here in New York like that. Nobody gonna take him serious.
No. Honestly, Bishop Woodall, I would not be surprised if this happens. I would not.
The New York Knicks need a championship pedigree coach that can get.
That's what they need.
They need that.
What about
There's no way they can get over.
Rick Brunson is not. Listen. Now that's the wild card. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, exactly. Rick Brunson is the wild card.
Even though he don't have a ring, he's on the staff.
He knows the players.
He knows the players.
From what I understand, he has a great relationship with all the players.
Yeah, but you leave it there.
It's continuity. And philosophically,
I agree with you, Willie.
Philosophically, he's the antithesis of Tibbs. He's younger. And he's going to be more offensive-minded. And if you surround him with and again, I'm not saying I think it's a good or a bad idea, but I'm just saying this is what they would have to do. You would have to surround him with strong veteran assistants who know. You would have to bring in. No, not even Mo Cheeks. You would have to bring in guys that were like former head coaches.
Hey, D-Lo. Me and one of my other guys were having a conversation about this just the other day. Just that the New York Knicks coaching staff has to get younger to be able to combat the offensive schemes that the league wants to see. They cannot stay old time, three-quarter offense, and then when it's time to run, we run. The NBA is a running offensive machine. They want to see points put up on the board. Not taking anything away from what the Knicks put up this year, because they put up great numbers. But as far as them being a juggernaut where it's like no one fears the Knicks to come in there and blow them out.
Right.
That's what they need. They need a coach that's saying, yo, we going in here, and there's no doubt in our mind.
We're never taking our foot off the gas. Right.
We're never taking our foot off the gas. D'Antoni.
No. You didn't have that with Mike D'Antoni.
Mike D'Antoni did not have the players to complement
Come
his
on
style
now.
of play.
You didn't have this team.
And Mike D'Antoni didn't ask his players to defend. And Keisha, to this point,
he had Linsanity.
That wouldn't be the case.
Not only Mike,
he had Linsanity.
And Melo. He had
this team, man. I don't know about anybody else. I feel he's the
I agree with you.
Go up and down.
I just don't know. I just don't know why they don't. Why they're not considering him right now.
Though. I think Taylor Jenkins would be an interesting.
Well, let's think about something with Taylor.
I agree with you about.
Why would you bring somebody here that lost the locker room?
Thank you.
But he lost the locker room. But why did he lose the locker room in Memphis? That's the question. I think that had a lot to do with all of the personalities around Ja.
I agree with what he's saying. I agree with him, with Mike Malone as the choice. But for some reason, they're not considering him right now. I don't know why.
At this
Let's go
point,
get Monty Williams. He used to play for us.
No.
And he's New York guy.
So they just gonna poo-poo on everything because Tibbs ain't here now. Now you just gonna just go down the list of retread coaches because his boy is gone.
Because we acting like it's just like it's a smorgasbord of great coaches that we can pick from. It's not.
It's not. But
step backwards today.
But Dave, did you hear what they said? They needed a new voice, and the new voice, the reason why was because the players said they did not know their roles. You ignoring that.
And that's going to eliminate Rick Brunson. He's not the new voice he's not on.
Right.
The new voice.
They want a new voice from the outside.
They need somebody from the outside. They need somebody that can relate to this player crop. They also need somebody that can relate to the way that the league is. The league is a running league. This is not the hand check, no matter how much the league tried to usher.
Oh, these guys don't know. These guys don't know how to play defense.
And the refs don't know how to call it.
They tried
the refs don't know how to call it.
Right.
I got all y'all on here.
They tried to usher it into. They tried to usher it into the playoffs. Hold on, Davey. They tried to usher it into the playoffs this season. It did not work because the referees don't know how to call it.
They don't know how to call it.
You need a coach that knows how to get that team to run up and down that court. At this point of the league, the average score is 120, 128. If you don't score 100 points, 110 points in a game, you might lose. And that never was the case.
By 20.
The Knicks used to win by scoring 98 points.
And even if you score 110 points, you might be down 30 even with scoring 110 points.
Exactly.
Yep.
So now you need somebody that is going. You don't need a defensive minded coach, and I think that they got to get that mentality out of the equation because everybody knows New York to be a hard-nosed defensive city. That's what we've always been known for from the Pat Riley days. Defense.
The Knicks problem is
defense was our calling card. Defense was our calling card, but now the league has changed so much. You got to have a potent offense. You got to be able to shoot from the three. You got to be able to run. It's got to.
That's why this is dangerous.
It has to almost go back to the D'Antoni days when D'Antoni was 8 seconds. He wanted 8 seconds.
7 seconds or less.
7 seconds or less. That is what D'Antoni wanted.
That's how the Pacers play.
And that's how the Pacers play.
Let me show you how dangerous this is. Leon Rose, James Dolan, they knew what kind of coach Tibbs was. So we spent every dime we had to give him defensive players. That's why we got OG. We ain't get OG to run up and down the court for 30. That's why we got Bridges. That's why Mitchell Robinson was drafted. That's why Deuce was drafted. These are defensive-minded players. So now you're going to ask another coach to come and win with somebody else's grocery.
Mitchell Robinson was pre-Tibbs.
He was pre-Tibbs, and he's the only one that stayed. Everybody else pre-Tibbs is gone.
Well, Davey.
So now
you didn't bring in Julius Randle to play defense.
You got to find a coach now to come to the big market of New York under this pressure, not to go to the playoffs. We already been there. Not to go to the first round. We did that. Not the second round. We did that. Not
to win the championship.
We did that. We bringing somebody in year one to take us to the finals with 16. Who is that?
I disagree with you on this only thing you said, this one thing. I think the coach that we bring in is going to get grace the first year. I think if they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, listen. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and are competitive, the problem with Tibbs was that we got to the ECF was favored. And the way that they lost, I'm going to keep saying it, the way that the Knicks lost in that round, it did not sit well with management. It did not sit well with those players, and it did not sit well with the fans. For them to lose the way that they lost to Indiana, they lost with a dude on the court going like this. It was a smack in the face to the organization, Dave. That man couldn't stay here. I was wondering, even if he stayed, was this going to be a hangover next year? Because I believed it was going to be a hangover. The way that they lost that series, I didn't think he was going to be able to garner the respect of those players. Again, and I'm going to repeat it because you wasn't on here. He never took accountability in that press conference, Dave. Go back and watch it. He said,
None.
we gotta, it's the players, we gotta get new players, we gotta evaluate, we gotta watch. He never said, I gotta be better.
And the Knicks said, sure, we're going to evaluate everything, including you. That's what Ian Begley reported. They evaluated everything.
Dave, to be honest, and I'm going to say this, and I know you ain't going to like it, he got up there cocky. Like it was his team. Like he knew he was coming back. Am I wrong?
That's what the aura was. Brunson never spoke against him.
Nobody ever spoke against him.
But he never showed humility in that moment. You got to be like, hey, fans, yo, put this series on me. And I promise you're going to come back next year.
I'm going to be better next year.
He never said it. Not one time.
Brunson said at the end, he said, the reporter asked him.
I heard what Brunson said. He got up and left the press. He got up and threw the mic down and left the press conference. But the head coach is the head coach, and the head coach didn't take accountability. I don't care what Brunson said.
Let me say this.
I've seen a lot of Sam Cassell. I got to address this real quick.
Hold on, D'Lo. Let me say this. Jalen has to be politically
He's the captain.
correct. He is the captain of the team. He's got to be politically correct. He can't be the captain of a New York team and be the reason that a coach gets fired.
Right.
That doesn't work.
We don't do coach killers in New York.
We don't do coach killers in New York. So your man has to say, "Yo, I got confidence in him," and he could be lying.
That's why he was like, "Is that even a question?"
Right. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, Davey, Tibbs did not have what it takes, and he doesn't have what it takes for any team that he has coached to bring them past a certain point. We eat into the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's really just keep it a buck, yo. We eat into the Eastern Conference Finals. We were not supposed to beat Boston. So Boston had something happened with Boston. They were injured.
They came back to. No, I'm not allowing that injury card to be played.
Hold on, let me finish.
They came back to earth.
Let me finish.
Because if I promise you, if I hear another person say Boston was injured, I'm going to scream.
They
were not.
Okay. So let's just be 100. Do we beat Boston if Kristaps Porzingis is healthy? Do we beat Boston if Jalen Brunson is not? Jaylen Brown is not dealing with a hand injury. Do we really beat them? Let's just.
He got a meniscus. He had a meniscus injury.
Allegedly.
Do we really beat them,
right?
Bro?
I haven't seen anything past those first 2 days of that alleged report.
Right.
Okay,
That's part of the game. That's part of the game.
So look at the 4 games in the season.
Jalen Brunson is dealing with an injury. Cat was dealing with an injury. I don't want to hear it.
The first game of the season,
we know basketball. We know basketball in the playoffs.
Of the gym by Boston.
Mitchell Robinson. He was a big difference.
We know playoff runs. We know playoff runs are one of defense and a little bit of luck. We know that. And we can't say that the Knicks didn't have a little bit of luck this playoff run. They did. So
any team has a little bit of luck. I mean, ask Tyrese Halliburton in Game 1. Because 9 times out of 10, that shot at the end of that game doesn't go in.
First of all,
Exactly.
Okay, hold on. See, because this is what happens to us Knicks fans all the time. We get high off of the success, and we do not really deal with the reality and the facts. This is a Knicks fan. Hear me out, Dwayne Lowe.
I ain't got to. I 100% disagree with that because I've been in and around basketball for far too long.
We get high off of the success. We are looking at the playoff success and we're saying that we are absolutely 100% better than these teams. When the record in the regular season shows
I never said that
we got wailed on. We got wailed on. We almost didn't get past Detroit.
The regular season don't matter. Remember that? Because the regular season award. He hosted a year in the regular season.
We're not talking about awards, David.
I have never said that the Knicks were better than anybody. Not Detroit, not Boston, not Indiana. I go each series by matchup. No, I said that Detroit was pretenders and they were fake tough. I never said they weren't a very good basketball team. They were a very good basketball team with veterans. Boston was the freaking defending champs. I'm never going to say, y'all know my edict about champions. They're the champs until you beat them.
That's right.
And I said Indiana, we were evenly matched with. So I'm not one of the Knicks fans that you're talking about.
We eat past Boston. Because if you got Kristaps Porzingis without whatever white people get, because I don't know what disease he
I don't know what he got. It sounds very three-letter-ish, but I'm going to leave that alone.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Right?
My man was struggling. He couldn't breathe.
He couldn't even breathe. So, but if you got him healthy,
Magic averaged a triple-double.
I got you, Keisha. I'm going to answer your question because Keisha going to yell at me if I don't answer her question.
He did. No. Magic averaged a triple-double with that.
Don't do it, Davey.
Dave, no. Dave, no. No.
No, man, no.
Superintendent John David Wright.
We need you.
No.
We got a couple of events, bro. We need you. We don't need you to get canceled.
No.
Hey, man, I better wait on that.
Hold on.
We don't need you to get canceled right now.
I had to use the whole name and the title to reel him in.
Right. We don't need
full government name. Superintendent John David Wright.
That's right.
That's the only thing that has stopped him in his tracks too. Like, wait.
But they make a lot out of that flu game with Jordan. Jordan played with the flu. And what he dropped, like 30-something points that game?
37 in that game.
Magic averaged a triple-double with that thing.
Jordan didn't have the flu.
He had food poisoning.
It was food. Honest,
Jordan actually had food poisoning in that game, which actually might be just as bad as not being able to breathe. Because you can't hold nothing down. He was in the bathroom at every time out.
I was going to say, it comes out of both ends sometimes, brother.
Yeah.
You out there jumping up and down.
You got to clinch while you jump.
You got to clinch while you jump, brother.
Something slowed Porzingis down. We don't know what it was.
We don't know what it was. Yeah, we don't know what it was.
I truly think that the Knicks are right there. Like from a basketball standpoint.
They're definitely right there.
They're right there.
Wait. They're definitely right there. And they're probably going to finish first in this season. Most likely they're going to win. They're going to win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, because Boston is clearly in a rebuild now. So now they have a golden opportunity to take over the Eastern Conference.
Boston is in a rebuild. So we're not a player. We were never one player away. We just a coach away. That's what you're saying.
Boston is in a rebuild, and Cleveland is not going to have the same season they had.
No, that's not happening.
That's not going to happen.
I love you, Bishop Heflin. I know you in the comments, but yeah, I can't see your Cavaliers repeating the type of year that they had this year.
So you're gonna have a really tough Knicks team. I think that I don't want them to make no trades. I want to run it back with this squad because I believe that this squad can do what it's got to do. And
I still think we need another shooter off the bench, though.
And I believe that we can get a coach that will take the ball out of Brunson's hand, make him play off the ball, make him you don't want to be a pure point guard. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring Kolek in, and we're gonna let Colin distribute. And you run around like Reggie Miller and just pick your shots if that's what you want to do, and get everybody else.
Steph Curry. Because that's what Steph Curry does.
He clearly can shoot.
But Butler had some games when he played point guard, man. He had some games when he was stitching that thing.
Some.
I agree with Butler on this in the fact that I think the Knicks need to get. He doesn't have to be off the ball all game, but he needs to be where he can spend. If he's gonna play, let's use Tibbs minutes. If he's gonna play 40 minutes a game, he needs to spend 15 minutes on the court off the ball.
And he'll be able to get rest while he's on the court. It won't have to
Right.
go to the sideline.
And then in the
this?
final 5 minutes of a close game, put the ball in his hands. There's nobody better.
How about this? You ready? When DiVincenzo was here and he was bringing that ball up.
Yeah, Devo was able to get Brunson off the ball.
But Butler, let me give you
And you
this.
had to respect Devo as a shooter, which is what they didn't have to do with Josh Hart, because Josh Hart wouldn't shoot the ball.
Do y'all remember Christmas Day when we were looking at them play the Spurs? What were we raving about that game?
Mikal
Bridges running the
keeping
offense.
Jalen off the ball.
And he wouldn't. And we were talking. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
We were like, man, this is great.
It looked
Tibbs
amazing.
discovered something.
It looked amazing. Never went back to it.
Never went back. Never.
Never
went back.
Here's what they should do.
Malone.
Here's what they should do. I say hire
I
Mike
agree with Malone being the coach.
I say hire Mike Malone.
I'm for Mike Malone as well. I am as well.
And-
I know
and
there's
I
some
am
people in the
also-
comments.
and I'm-
My brother
and
overseer
I'm
Bullard, he's
also
not with
for-
it, but
I'm also for re-signing DiVincenzo.
Now I think they are because
You need a
Achua is a
shooter
free
off the
agent,
bench.
and
But-
so is
Dylan
Shaq.
Wright. Dylan Wright as well.
You keep Rick Brunson to still keep the temperament of the locker room.
okay, that's fair as your assistant. Absolutely, I don't have a problem with that.
Absolutely. Let him be your head
Because
assistant.
again,
he has
because
he
it-
has
it-
the locker room. He has the locker room in the palm of his hands.
The continuity is there, and Mike Malone's father coached Rick Brunson.
Rick ain't
As a Knick.
going nowhere as long as Jalen is here.
Yeah, I think Rick Brunson has a job forever.
Yes,
Keisha,
Rick is
yeah.
not going anywhere.
To
Whatever
answer your
coach come here
question-
has to put Rick on there. That's already
Yeah,
etched in
that's
stone.
probably on there. Yeah.
That's etched in stone. He's not going anywhere.
Keisha had asked a question a while back. She needs
Yes,
to answer
I
it.
believe he would have got fired. yes.
I think because the firing wasn't about this one. Wasn't about
Right.
the playoff run. It
Yeah,
wasn't
he
about
would have
the
got
playoff run.
fired if he lost to Boston.
The firing wasn't about the playoff run.
It wasn't about
the
the playoff
firing was about going 0-11 against top seeded teams.
He was on the hot
No,
seat, and we just
not
didn't
just
know
that
it.
L. Not just that L. It was his body of work for the last 3.5 years.
Yes.
That
I
stubbornness
agree.
got him out of here.
His
That
body of work.
unwilling,
His body
that,
of work.
that unwillingness to change and make the necessary adjustments. This is what I said in our chat. This front office is a basketball front office. This is not a corporate front office. This is a basketball front office. So they're
And
not looking at it from a corporate point of view. They're looking at it from an X's and O's point of view. Leon Rose, Wild West, those guys are basketball people.
And you got
Which
to
is
take
the
your hat off
reason
to
why-
James
which
Dolan
is the
because he
reason
kept
why
his hands
James
off it.
Dolan, which is the reason why James Dolan hasn't had anything to say in 5 years.
Well,
But
Ian
you have
Begley
to
said
give-
it.
you
Ian
have to
Begley
give
said
him-
it. Dolan was in the meeting, but it was Leon's
It was
decision.
Leon Rose's call.
You have to give him. You have to take your hat off to him because he has not got involved. So kudos to the owner.
We
Kudos to
said
the
that.
owner.
We said that in the this year on the broadcast. You got to give Leon Rose credit. Dolan
Listen,
credit.
There's
He
talk
stayed
that
out
Oak
of the
might
way.
get reinstated for next season, which I would be very happy about.
Who's that?
There's talk that Oakley may get reinstated for next season.
Well, they say he could come back now, but
Yeah, but he has to buy his own ticket right now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about them bringing him back next year as one of the alumni.
Right, they put him in the Chase Lounge.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I believe Mike Malone should be offered the job. I think he's the best coach out there, the best available. Listen, he did wonders.
What I've been
Keisha,
hearing
stop
is
trolling.
that
I'm not even listening to you.
I know
Mike
it's
Malone.
not-
Mike Malone is going to get us a chip.
And I think he can do something with Cat just like he did with Jokic. Not on that level, but I think he can work with Cat with passing the ball because Cat is a great passer. We've seen flashes of him passing the ball.
But again, think about it. Even with Mike Malone, he hides Jokic's shortcomings with Aaron Gordon.
That's how he passed.
Carl Anthony Towns need to spend the summer with Hakeem Olajuwon at the
Working on that
School of
footwork. Working on that footwork.
On that
Oh my
footwork.
God.
Every time he drives to the basket, he's falling down. I promise you, I'm looking at the Eiffel Tower falling down.
And it's a straight line drive. And
Right.
after a while, again, you play a team 6 times, they're going to learn how to defend it. They're going to learn how to defend it. You got to
And
do
he
something
must
different.
learn he played subpar with his back to the basket, but he got to work on that. Because if he does that, he's literally the beast of the East.
I wouldn't go Mike Brown, Overseer Hendrickson. I wouldn't go Mike Brown.
Nah, no Mike Brown.
I like him, but
Mike Brown
I
don't have no offensive continuity.
I'm about to say he's an
the Lakers
assistant.
coach.
Yeah,
Mike, bring
he's
him in
a great
as an
assistant.
assistant.
Right.
was
Like
trash.
if he's on Mike Malone's staff, I can live with that.
Put him on the staff, but not to be the head guy. No.
Mike Malone
Keisha, stop it.
Mike Malone is the choice, and they need to go get Mike Malone. And if they're saying Mike Malone
Sam,
is
New York
not
guy from Queens.
if they're saying Mike Malone is not on the radar, he's not a top choice. That's really smoke
They're
screen.
lying.
That's smoke and
They're
mirror.
lying.
Come on, this is the Knicks we talk about. It's misdirection.
And I want them to have a coach in place before the draft.
The draft. You know they're gonna do that. The draft is the week after the NBA Finals, so
Why
I'm
is
sure
that?
this is why they had to make that move. You said why is that, Willie?
I'm about to say, why is Keisha saying Cat is zesty?
Because I was talking about how he passed.
Oh, Lord.
He has good passing fundamentals.
He's a zesty passer? Okay. He's a zesty passer? Okay.
Hey, as long as he get the assist, I don't
Listen,
care.
when he passed like that, it looked like he. Never mind.
Listen, I don't
Stop.
as long as it leads to the basket.
My question would be to the Knicks and that bench. What are they going to supplement? Because now PJ's retiring. They clearly don't have a secondary defender to give OG a rest. Those are clearly some checks that they got, them boxes that have to check.
And that's where they messed up last year by not bringing in one of the Morris twins.
They had him, but they released him.
Yeah.
But Sherman, who he didn't play.
Right. And then
Who he
Shannon
didn't
hurt
play.
his shoulder, then they cut him, and then they brought him back.
And
'Cause
didn't play him.
they were bringing in Morris to back up Julius Randle, and once the Cat deal happened, they felt like they didn't need him anymore.
You always need a dog.
I agree. You're not
Always
going to
need
get
a
an
dog.
argument on me, Willie. I
don't care
agree.
on what team. Then there has to be a goon. There has to be a dog that has 6 fouls and not afraid to use them.
Kevin Lewis said Cat shot reminds me of Sam Perkins. The Rifleman?
That's a big comparison there.
The Rifleman? I don't know.
A big comparison. I don't know. But for Thibodeau, yet his run was subpar. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. But I will say, as far as his coaching career, he's a goner. That's it. No team's gonna touch him.
Yeah, it's
No team's
over.
gonna-
His as a head coach in this league is done.
I think Bridges, Jason, is ecstatic because he ain't got to play 45 minutes a game no more.
Right.
And I think Bridges is going to get some plays run from him with this next coach. You're going to
Because
see Bridges more involved in the offense.
he was the number one option in Brooklyn, man. Like, it's not like he can't play or have
He's
offense.
been to the finals. Okay, let's not forget that.
It's not like he
Right.
can't create his own shot. OG was a revelation this year. David is right about one thing. OG was not necessarily brought here for his offense.
But he's
But
clearly the
once
third
we
option.
got it, exactly. Once you got it, it's like,
He's clearly
get
the
this
third
guy the
option.
ball.
He's clearly the
Get him
third
the
option.
ball.
Yo,
He proved that in this Eastern Conference Final that he's clearly a third option that you got to use now.
You got to.
Got to use him.
I mean, you get this thing where you're big about you want to stagger Cat and Brunson, and okay, but why are we not staggering OG and Mikal Bridges as well?
But we're forgetting one person in this whole equation that I can say.
You got 4 guys where you can guarantee that you have 2 scorers on the floor at all times.
Right. And this
I
is
like
a guy
these
that
two
we haven't
words.
spoke on this whole show. That for me, even though the Knicks lost the series in a certain way, he saved the series. Mitchell Robinson saved this series for the Knicks for another 2 games.
You saw what George Smith put up there? I was waiting for you to put it up.
Oh my! I love this question. Overseer Hendrickson, this is for you. How does Jason Hendrickson feel knowing that the last
said-
team that
he
Tibbs
said
beat
facts.
was the Celtics?
He
Oh,
said in the
wow.
comments, he said facts.
Okay.
There it
Listen.
is.
So, all right, no more trolling. Yeah.
Wow. That
He beat the defending champs.
sure did. He sure did. He sure
Listen,
did.
But you're right,
He got
you're
that
right,
on his
Kevin
resume.
Lewis.
These are the two.
He was Chuck Person. You're right. You're
These
right.
are the two words that Leon Rose used.
Tibbs can go
that-
Coach Angel Reed.
These
Shut
two
up,
words,
Keisha.
these two words Leon Rose used that makes me have confidence in this front office.
Oh, you
Two
read the
words.
statement. Go ahead.
2 words.
Mhm.
Singularly focused.
Right.
We are singularly focused.
We are singularly
on winning
focused
the
on winning a
championship.
championship. And that to me says anything but championship is a bust.
We are the front office is now officially championship or bust. The front office is championship or bust.
And I like it.
Jason Hendrickson, I want to address this. You admit that you lost. The problem is you can't accept that you lost.
There's the difference. That's good teaching there, sir.
Whoa.
That's good teaching. There's
You
the
admit that you lost.
difference. That's good teaching.
But the problem is you can't accept you lost. That's
That's
why
it.
you're still trolling after 3 weeks. Continue
That's it.
on.
That's
Still
A
going.
whole nother series done.
Continue on. Continue.
Still going.
Boom. Bam. Continue.
Yeah, Keisha. Yeah, the Leon Rose and his team meant it. If you have not seen the statement, I will post it on the Church Guys Facebook page for y'all to see it from the Knicks. Because they put out press releases when things like this happen, and I respect it. Although I did kind of want Leon to come to a microphone and do a press conference.
That ain't happening. You know
But we
he
know,
ain't getting.
with the
wasn't
Knicks,
gonna
that's
do
not
that.
gonna happen. With the
He
Knicks, that's
wasn't
never
gonna
gonna
do
happen.
He wasn't gonna do that. He did his job. He did his
He
job
did.
behind
He
the deck.
did. He
You
did.
can
He absolutely
admit it.
did.
You don't accept it.
That's what he said.
Man, that'll preach right there.
That would preach. Yes, that absolutely would.
You can admit it. But
You can admit it,
But
but you don't accept it.
You admit your
And the evidence is clear. You can't even come back to say nothing after that.
you
Because
admit,
the evidence is there. You've been trolling for 3 weeks and we ain't respond to you.
you admit your sins, but don't accept that it's wrong.
That's it.
I know.
You admit that Jesus is real, but you won't accept him as your savior.
Lord.
See,
God,
J Mac, don't do this. You done stirred up preachers. Don't do
Let me
that.
get
Don't do that. Don't do. You done stirred up a bunch of preachers, J Mac.
in the church.
So let me address this. Key.
Nobody cares about Stephen A. Smith, Keith.
I don't listen to Stephen A. Smith. because
Right. Nobody
Stephen A.
cares
Smith
about Stephen A. Smith.
Is a front runner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know I don't, Keisha, you know how I've talked to you not nicely about Stephen A. Smith. Stuff I can't say on this show about Stephen A. Smith. I don't care nothing about anything he got to say.
Overseer, we're not an entertainment show. We're a sports show. We're a sports show. We're not here to entertain. You entertain. That's what you do. That's not what we do over here. Butler, he went there. He went there. You see this? You see this post? He went there. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, guys? Tell me, am I wrong? Are we're a sports show, correct?
We are a sports show.
We're a sports show.
So no, I'm not here to monetize and get 40,000 views and we just here to talk about sports. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to entertain with comedy. That's what you do. We leave that to you.
A lot of our comedy is organic. It's not manufactured. In that we have funny moments that happen during the course of our broadcast.
We not Cam Newton. We're not Cam. Please, D-Lo, you gotta jump in here, please.
He's talking
please.
about Mason Cam.
We not Mason Cam. Please jump in.
It is what it is.
First of all, Mason
That's a click.
Cam
It's a
started out.
click show.
Mason,
That's a click
Mason
show.
Cam started out talking about sports. They don't talk sports.
They don't
no
talk
more.
about, I'm about to say it's not a sports show anymore.
Right.
Right.
They have deteriorated into clicks and likes, and then
Right.
they also have the benefit as both of them were already ultra stars when they came together, who famously had beef with each other and were working together. So that automatically is going to give viewers, because people want to see if it's going to pop off again. So
you said Made in Cam, so I didn't know who you were talking about. You that was your first one. So once you said Mason Cam, we understood.
Cam Newton, what?
Yeah, but you said Made in Cam. You said you see this post right here, right? Put that one up, D'Lo, so I can educate him
Keisha,
about typos.
Now Keisha taking shots.
Typo.
Wow.
Yo.
Okay, Keisha.
Yeah.
Woo. Okay.
The shots
All right.
be fired.
Keisha
All right.
dropping bombs.
I'm done. I'm getting out of that one. I'm backing out.
I don't even know what that's about, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna say, Mason Cam were mega stars. So I'm not putting.
Butler, don't try to put your hand over your mouth. Don't you dare.
I'm not gonna put our grassroots show up against something like that. That's comparing apples to turnips.
Wow.
That's not the same thing. That's apples to turnips.
I was just trying to make a point. That's all I was.
No, you made a valid point.
We'll be all right. Especially once we
good.
start doing
our show is growing organically.
Right. And when we start doing some in-studio stuff.
Our show is growing organically.
We're gonna be fine.
We like the growth of our podcast. We like the growth of it.
But the coach carousel is going to be interesting these next couple of weeks.
Very.
It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, wait a minute. We don't say words like that on this show, Overseer.
Keisha never got kicked off the show.
And she was not kicked off the show.
Keisha left the show.
Right.
Because she is a brat.
Oh, Lord.
Because Keisha is a millennial brat at that.
Right. We didn't kick her off.
We did not kick her off the show.
Keisha left the show. That she and I are working on something for her own brand right now. So we're gonna get that going.
Is this an intervention right now?
For who? Who we intervening for?
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
Keisha, get us out of here, D-Lo. This is about to get ugly.
Exit stage left, please.
Yeah, bro.
I kind of want to see where this goes, actually.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
She's just laughing at him. That's right, Keisha. Just keep on smiling, girl. Don't let the overseer bait you in. Don't let him bait you in.
Please, because
don't let him bait you in.
Yeah, we're gonna stop because Key will.
That's why she'll go nuclear. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man, J Mac, don't light the fuse, please.
I'm not. It ain't me.
Don't light it, please.
It ain't me, brother.
J Mac said it ain't him.
I'm just sitting here eating my Haribo gummies. That's all I'm doing.
So the coach got fired. Hopefully they can go out there. They can get Mike Malone, re-sign DiVincenzo, and build on what we have. And yeah.
I gotta say this: if they go after Giannis, this is going to be a totally different conversation in a couple of months because this team is not going to look the same way.
So go after Giannis and what? Because that involves a trade. So does that mean we're getting rid of Cat?
That means you got to gut the roster.
They're saying Cat is going.
Roster, that's what I'm saying.
That means you got to gut the roster.
And there have been rumors because, number one, he lives in New York. He says he doesn't mind playing in the Eastern Conference continually.
He wants to stay in the Eastern Conference.
He wants to play for a bigger market. Now imagine him in the Garden with Cat and Brunson.
You can't do it. You can't afford that. You gotta let go of Cat. You gotta let go of Cat and possibly Mikal.
No, you would let go of OG and you would let go of
Right. So it's OG and Cat are gone. Well, you don't want to do that because you're going to compromise whatever little bit of defense you can possibly get.
This is why I'm saying
because you still need some defense.
This Giannis Rumorville will be very interesting the next couple of months because guess what now? You don't have a coach, but then you have a budding superstar that possibly wants to play here in this big market. So there's a lot that the
Who's
Knicks.
a budding superstar?
I
Giannis is
mean,
not
a superstar.
I mean,
but
he,
when
I'm
it's
about to say
played
he
this
ain't budding
market,
at this
that's what
point. That's all NBA
I
first
know
team
what
the
he
last
means,
several
but a
years.
super-
Let me
a
correct
superstar
myself.
that wants to play on
Superstar,
Broadway.
mega star that wants to play in this market.
That wants to play in New York.
Yeah,
That
we
you-
had that. No. No. We had that with Carmelo. You're gonna wind up repeating the Carmelo Anthony trade all over again.
But there's a
Here-
difference with Giannis. Giannis is a champion.
Can I just spell this out for you though?
That's different than Carmelo.
A front line of Giannis and Robinson, that doesn't entice you a little bit?
And Giannis plays on both sides of the floor.
He plays on both ends. They will be blocking shots like bananas down there.
Go ahead, D-Lo.
There is one way this works. It's Cat for Giannis straight up.
Yes.
Nobody else.
True.
Because the money matches almost exactly.
And that's why they've been talking about
I
it.
just looked it up. The only way it works is Cat for Giannis. Nobody else needs to be included. You're plugging and playing Giannis into this. You re-sign DiVincenzo, and let's go play basketball.
And you got Mitch at the 5. His natural position, Giannis at the 4. Giannis doesn't have to play the 5. Giannis is a natural 4.
There has to be a way that you keep Mitchell Robinson.
Well,
That's
no,
what we're
Mitchell
saying.
Robinson
That's
is
what we're
here.
Gotta keep him in.
Mitchell Robinson is your 5. Giannis is
He's
playing
the
the 4.
5. He's the 5. Mitchell Robinson is the 5. Giannis is the 4. You got OG at the 3. You got Mikal at the 2, and Brunson at the 1.
No, Kevin Lewis, I don't want a 37-year-old Kevin Durant.
No, I don't want him here.
No
I wanted
way.
Kevin Durant 7 years ago. I don't want
Send
Kevin
him-
Durant now.
Send him to Toronto. Let him get out of here.
They want him. They want him.
Yeah.
They want him.
But again, Phoenix is gonna have to gut their roster. I mean, they're talking about it because Cat and Booker were college teammates, so they're
But-
talking. That's his boy. He's talking about reuniting them. But no, Kevin Durant in New York. No.
But Butler, you don't like that starting 5 though? Brunson and Bridges in the backcourt.
Brunson,
OG,
Bridges, OG,
Giannis, and Robinson on the front line.
as
Who's
your
gonna
front-
be your number one option?
Brunson still. It's
It's
Brunson's
Brunson
team.
and Giannis. It's Brunson and
Here's the
Giannis.
thing. Giannis has never had a real running mate. He won the championship really without a real running mate.
Middleton was the closest thing he had.
Middleton was the closest thing he had, injury prone. He got Dame late in Dame's career, and Dame broke down. If he could play with a Jalen Brunson in his prime,
And a Robinson man in the middle, and they both down there playing defense.
so where he don't have to guard 5s?
Bro, that front line, we're going to dominate on the boards easily.
Yeah, they're gonna get every rebound there.
Every rebound.
And
Well,
Giannis
think
is a
about
one-man
something, too.
fast break by himself.
And you
But
won't
there-
need
but
Josh
there
Hart to
has-
be
somebody-
grabbing all
somebody
these
has to
rebounds.
concede, though. But somebody has to concede because Giannis is a ball dominant guy. So
Not, I mean,
I'm
to a
just
certain
saying.
extent, I do agree to a certain extent. But I think you'd see more pick and roll with him and Brunson than you saw with Brunson and Cat. Because oftentimes with Brunson and Cat, it was pick and pop. Giannis is gonna dive to the goal, and those calls
Brunson-
that Cat don't get, Giannis
if
gets those
Brun-
calls.
If Brunson is willing to play ball and roll off the screen and give the ball up, because remember, he's not the greatest passer in the world.
But he was. He's not the greatest passer in the world. No, and he's a 6'1" guard, so he's small. I agree. But Brunson has shown that he's a willing passer. I think a lot of the issue that we had with Brunson over the last 2 years was the fact that Brunson was forced to be in an offensive situation where he had to be the man, even with Cat there, because the coach didn't require anything else of him.
Right.
But if you listen to Brunson talk, you listen to his interviews in college, and if you watched him in college, as great as he was in college, he wasn't the man on his own team,
He wasn't.
It was a spread offense in Nova.
and he thrived in it. So he can. He just hasn't been asked to do it in New York because Tibbs didn't require it of him.
And I agree with you. I think the only way it happens is straight up. And that's why I believe
That's the only way it can happen.
And that's why I believe it's not out of the question right now. I believe this is going to be on the table until the season starts.
We might have another day before.
Yeah, that's what I'm
camp.
saying. I believe this is on the table until the season starts.
But
what does that say about Cat? Like, honest.
It says
what
that he's a one-way
he's
player.
not a winner.
I heard somebody say he's not a winner.
Yeah, a reporter said that today.
Didn't DiVincenzo get a chip with Milwaukee?
He did.
Right, with Giannis.
With Milwaukee.
Sure did, with Giannis. Yep, he was. Devo was on that team.
And if you bring Devo back here and Giannis here,
Devo, Giannis, Brunson, Mikal, so you still got your Nova Knicks, and you add Giannis to the mix with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges.
There's clearly nobody in the Eastern
That's
Conference
a nice squad, brother.
Come
on, Butler. Come on, bro.
And Mike Malone is coaching that team.
Come on.
That's kind of scary.
And we didn't even talk about bringing at least another one or two pieces on that bench with Devo.
Right. Because on the bench, because there's talk of Jordan Clarkson coming in to fill out the bench. Jordan Clarkson's a bucket.
The Knicks were trying to get him last year.
Yeah. And there's talk they're still high on getting him to bolster the bench.
They're clearly going for that gold ball.
They going for the chip, bro.
They clearly have some.
And you know what? I for one am happy. We finally, like you said, Butler, we finally got a front office that know basketball. I for one am happy that they care. They care. You know what did it too? All of those parades out there on 7th Avenue every time the Knicks won in the playoffs. That did it too. They saw Dolan drove up and gave a kid a game
He was giving out game balls after every win.
Dolan, when did we ever see him do that?
Dolan was opening up the Garden to have watch parties on road
He's
games.
never done that, and we were asking why he don't do it.
Because the culture has shifted.
Yep.
And give him credit, he shifted
He shifted with the culture. And that's why I totally believe it was totally Leon Rose's decision. Because Dolan is like, I'm not screwing this up.
Right.
What
Butler,
you want to do, Leon?
Butler, let me
fire him? Okay, I'll pay him $30 million to sit at home.
Let me give you that potential starting lineup again, and I want you to tell me. I'm gonna give it to you again. At the 1, Jalen Brunson.
I'm going to put this in 2K right now.
At the 2, Mikal Bridges. At the 3, we putting OG at the 3 now. He's not even the 4. We put
chill. I'll put OG at the 2.
Okay, let's switch.
You gotta allow him to offensively be involved.
Put Mikal at the 3.
He's not really gonna be involved like that.
Okay,
we're looking for Mikal to be the 2? No way.
We can put OG at the 2 and put Mikal at the 3.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say
Giannis at the 4 and Mitchell Robinson at the 5. You gonna tell me you don't like that roster better than the one we got now?
I like that roster. I like that.
Miguel don't need no offensive plays to be involved in the basketball game.
As we can see.
But OG will because OG can post up the smaller 2 guards and he can defend the taller 2 guards in the league. Because now two guards are kind of simultaneously 3s. You know what I'm saying? So he would cancel them out. You understand? Just like he did with Pascal, even though him and Pascal were going at each other, but as far as that matchup in particular, they canceled each other out. So there was no other option for them to go to.
Wait, let me pull it up.
Yeah, listen, I'm telling you.
NBA Trade Machine. I just did it on ESPN. This would be a successful trade, straight up for each other.
Giannis for Cat.
Yep. And I'm telling you, it's gonna be the talk every day until
I just did it on Trade Machine. So.
This is gonna be the talk until Giannis is settled somewhere. Unless Giannis goes elsewhere, as long as he's in Milwaukee, this is gonna be the talk every day on New York radio. This is gonna be the talk. So just get ready. This is gonna be the talk.
Like literally,
I don't see him going west
almost
because the West is too
almost
good.
exact. It's a $500,000 difference in salary. They both have exactly 4 years left on their contract. Yeah, this is perfect.
Giannis got to make a decision on what's the easier pathway to the finals, and it's definitely not in the Western Conference. It's definitely not there.
Yeah, because nobody's getting past OKC.
There are teams that didn't even make the playoffs that were 11 or 12 seeds that were
Well,
good.
OKC is going to enter a very interesting season next season, depending upon how they get off to it, because next year is the Chet extension, the Jalen Williams extension. So if they don't get off to a great start next season, they might be moving pieces at the deadline.
Well, I would suggest their best bet is to win the championship now, so those questions can kind of get answered.
And they will. And they will.
And they probably will win that series.
Right.
And so you'll probably see them start retooling, because Oklahoma City can't be above the apron because they're in a small market.
That's right. That's right. So moving,
so that's not a juggernaut over there in Oklahoma City. It's not.
It's just a very well drafted team.
Yes.
That gelled together this year in the last year.
Listen, I don't gloat at nobody being fired, but this was a great move for the Knicks. I'm sorry. I approve of this firing. I am all for it. I'm sorry. Tibbs, yes, he did get us to win, but you can't reward mediocrity. You can't reward it. You can't reward it. I mean, and these fans, listen. That you think management ain't tired of hearing 52 years, 53 years? They tired of it too.
But I think when it comes to Tibbs, he was just what he was, like you said. He was a foundation setter.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I will always be grateful to him for it.
Absolutely.
But now you got that foundation built. You have to step up the bar. The bar has to be raised.
Keisha, got your nonsense out.
Yeah, until they get KD down in Miami.
Listen, I don't want to hear nothing from Keisha until I see her in the Angel Reese jersey.
Right, she's talking about buying everybody else jersey except Angel Reese.
Go get that Angel Reese jersey.
That's right. We still waiting.
You owe us that Angel Reese.
That's right. We still waiting for that.
Angel Reese is about to be out the league. You know?
Why?
She got a whole lot going on.
She coming to New York, brother.
That's exactly where she coming.
When that rookie deal is over,
she going
and
right
now
to the
that
Liberty.
Teaspoon is in the front office,
she going right to the Liberty.
She coming to New York.
Going right to the Liberty.
She gonna be on fast.
Who are going to
Teaspoon
demand she get better because New York is a different market.
Reese was not happy.
We don't care nothing about you being cute. You need to be a ball player here.
Well, they just put up a stat today. She's the fastest player to get to 500 points and 500 rebounds.
Yep.
The fastest ever in the WNBA.
She's showing her disdain because Teaspoon was unjustly fired.
Agreed.
She didn't
Chicago did
get
Teaspoon
any
dirty.
trend or any culture there.
They did Teaspoon dirty.
But now Teaspoon is the assistant general manager of the Liberty.
But Chicago made the mistake because they didn't have any veteran bigs to mentor Angel and Camila Cardozo. Right. And so they're struggling right now because, like, you put these two rookies in the starting lineup, they banging with grown women. Like, what you doing?
And even if I'm not mistaken, I think Vandersloot went back to Chicago, right?
Courtney Vandersloot, yeah.
And she was the veteran president. They thought that was going to work, and obviously it's not been working.
It's not working. No,
it's not working.
And the Liberty,
because they brought in another guard.
Right. And the Liberty are trying to become a dynasty. That's what they're trying to do.
That team looks like a juggernaut.
They're trying to become a dynasty. They're trying to win 2 more. Forget about 1 more chip. They're trying to win 2 more. They're trying to win at least 2 more chips.
I will tell you something else.
Them bringing in Natasha Cloud to run the point was brilliant.
Keisha doesn't want us talking.
You better watch that other LA team out west.
Keisha doesn't want us talking about her sister, y'all.
Ooh, the Sparks?
Because she don't want to hear that she coming to New York. But Teaspoon is on the Liberty.
Yes, Jason, that's Willie Gray.
That's her. They were hugging each other in the finals.
Jason was
on the sideline.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, they were hugging on
They were hugging each other on the sideline
during the WNBA finals while Teaspoon was rooting on the Liberty. Angel Reese was there hugging and crying with her like she won.
Like she won the chip. She's coming to New York. By hook or by crook. She's going to get here.
Rookie deal will be over after this season, right?
This is year 2. So
year 2?
She was a first-round selection. I got to see. I'll check it out.
I think at the end of this year, her deal might be about to be up.
She'll have 1 more year left, but she can be traded in that last year.
Yeah, but she could become restricted this year. In case they don't, they want to get rid of cap space.
Yeah, Spoon was at the parade, Keisha. That's why I'm telling you. And Spoon is the assistant general manager. I think it's a foregone conclusion that
Yes,
Angel Reese
No,
is going to be in the
she's
Liberty
got 2 more
jersey.
years on it. It's a 4-year rookie scale contract with Chicago Sky.
Yeah,
So
but
she's
she's
got
going out.
she's got
She's
2 more
going
years
out.
on it.
She's going to force her way out.
She's gonna force her way out. She's gonna want out.
Well,
Nah, it's 2 years,
Spoon is
Keisha.
supposed to be at the parade, of course.
your sister's gonna be a
Liberty.
A Liberty. She's going to be playing in Brooklyn. She's going to be playing downtown Brooklyn, Keisha.
And they break ground in a new practice facility next year.
Right. But let me tell you something. The New York fan base, as far as the Knicks is concerned, they are not happy with the New York Liberty being the only championship team in New York right now. That is eating them up. So this is another reason why I think this firing was fishy.
Yeah, they beat Connecticut 100-52 the other night.
Beat about 48 points.
That's crazy.
That team. I've watched 4 of their 7 games. They look unbeatable right now.
They're that good.
They look unbeatable.
They finally put Ionesco. She's off the ball now.
Yeah, they brought in Natasha Cloud to run the point. They took Sabrina off the ball, and they got Stewie off the ball. You bring in an Angel Reese that can put Stewie back in her natural
Dennis
position
Rodman.
of the 3.
Stewie,
it's over.
Angel Reese is going to be Dennis Rodman. That's what she's going to be.
They will be the modern day Houston Comets.
Yes.
They do that.
Yes.
There will be
Keisha is
nobody to
upset.
stop.
Minnesota looks good this year, but they don't look as crazy as New York does right now.
New York is dominant.
If Angel Reese comes to the Liberty, I am buying
An Angel Reese jersey. Angel Reese Liberty jersey.
I am buying it, and she is going to wear it. She is going to wear.
She's supposed to buy her own, no Butler. Don't buy it.
No. I don't want her to buy one from Chicago. She will wear a New York
or a Liberty, got
Liberty jersey.
A New York Liberty Angel Reese jersey with an armband and a leg band.
What?
Keisha, they trying to make you hoop again.
She gonna put on a sleeve. She gonna put on a leg sleeve and an arm sleeve.
And an arm sleeve. Well, Minnesota is up by 20 as well over Phoenix right now. So listen, they're looking good too.
Ain't nobody down there in Phoenix.
Yeah, Navisha Collier, she's a beast, but they can't match up against that Liberty team right now, man. That Liberty is.
I can't wait till they go ahead. They haven't played each other yet this season, so that's going to be probably the first test for both of those teams. So, I mean, it's interesting, though, to not be talking about the Las Vegas Aces as the juggernaut this year. That's very interesting.
With courtside tickets.
So I'm never coming to the church ever again.
That's funny.
And we going to the game. And we gonna go to the game.
We gonna sit on Celebrity Row.
And I'm telling you,
at the Barclays Center.
What? Girls basketball is in the summertime. She gonna wear a whole
uniform.
A whole Liberty uniform.
The warm up. You have the warm up on everything.
Everything. They gonna
Barclays got some good food.
They gonna think that you said Barclays got good food.
Yeah, they got good food.
Yeah, man. That lounge upstairs, the 40/40 club.
Listen, Barclays said
when I was a Nets fan for one game,
the food is awesome.
Yo, I remember I went to a Brooklyn Nets game to see the Lakers play, and the tickets they got me was the package where you got different food coming to your seat. Yo, it was crazy. They food is good. I'm telling you.
The tickets I got was in the 40/40 club.
Nice.
Which was all you can eat.
Yeah. I heard the 40/40 in there is beautiful. I heard they take good care of you.
Yo, they had these burgers, like it was all you can, everything, all you can eat. The food would not stop coming until the final buzzer.
I had seats like that. Me and Cynthia, they just kept bringing us food at the seat. It was the seats. It was tied to the bar or the lounge. They kept bringing
that's
it
why
to
these
us.
bishops is always in the gym.
Gotta be. We keep eating.
I gotta be in the gym, bro. If I don't, they'd be rolling me down the aisle.
I've been cleared to go back to the gym.
Right.
I've been cleared to go back to the gym next week.
All right. Just not with a basketball in your hand.
No more basketball. That's it.
We're gonna bronze that knee brace. We're gonna bronze that knee brace and that basketball all in the same
I can do
thing.
leg work, and my rehab has a basketball court in it, and I took jump shots today.
See?
Thank you.
Yeah, today was leg day for me. God, it was a killer. Oh my God, my trainer destroyed me.
I'm getting out of here. I love y'all.
Me too.
Great firing. I'm happy about it.
Your boy Davey is mad though. He upset.
Davey's in mourning right now.
Davey is in mourning.
He's in mourning.
Yeah,
Davey is hurt.
He'll be all right. Listen.
As soon as they hire Mike Malone, Mike Malone train is here.
He felt the same way about R.J. Barrett when they traded him.
Daggone near cried.
And he felt the same way when they traded Julius.
Who was the coach before Tibbs?
None
of us even remember. That's crazy.
This guy named Miller finished the season. Mike Miller. Was it Mike Miller? It was something Miller.
No.
It was something Miller.
We don't know who the coach was before Tom Thibodeau.
But that says something. That's why we give Tibbs his credit. We totally blocked out all those bad years.
Oh, that's bad.
Listen,
yo, we blocked out all of that, man.
I gotta go. She's coming in here with food that stinks. I gotta go.
What? Listen, we thank y'all for rocking with us tonight. It was. Hey, sis.
What's up, Telly?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
You should hit him right in the head with that food.
This food.
Hit him with the food.
I don't know where she got it
Not
from.
hit him with the food.
This food smells terrible. I gotta go.
Listen, thank y'all for rocking with us tonight on this special edition in our regular time slot. We were supposed to be taking a week off this week, but we didn't. So join us because obviously the Tibbs firing happened, so we needed to do a show.
We
tonight.
had to come on.
We needed to do a show tonight. So next week we're back in our regular time slot. We're back here with you 8 o'clock. We're gonna get into some more WWE.
R-Truth and Jimmy, we're gonna miss you.
Money in the Bank is this weekend, so we'll be talking about Money in the Bank on next week. Looking forward to that.
What is going on?
Are back on the winning track.
Thank you, little Jimmy.
Yankees. Thank you, little Jimmy.
Thank you, little Jimmy.
The Yankees are back on the winning side. The Mets are playing fairly well as well. So we got a lot to talk about as we roll into it. The NBA draft is coming up, and of course, we will see who the New York Knicks choose as their next coach, hopefully before the draft.
Nah. Hey.
David Fizdale was the coach?
David Fizdale, they said.
It was Fizdale. But then Fizdale got fired, and somebody named Miller finished the season.
Yeah.
I can't remember his first name.
He was interim. He wasn't the coach, though.
He finished the season. But the last head coach was David Fizdale prior to Tom Thibodeau. Him and his stupid positionless basketball, trying to make R.J. Barrett a point guard. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Gotta go.
I'm going to get mad all
That's a rant. Keep that.
Let me hold that. Y'all have a great night, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday. As always, still orange and blue skies all over this great city of ours.
Orange and blue skies.
Little Jimmy.
It's always orange and blue skies. Shout out to R-Truth, 17 great years in the WWE. We are sorry to see you go. We are sorry to see you go.
What's up?
And, I'm sure his career will continue as long as he don't go to AEW. I'm leaving it. We'll see y'all next week. Have a great night, everyone, and a great rest of your week. Holla at us in the comments. See you Tuesday.
Yo, this is the state of emergency. Check. I need all my Knicks fans right now to grab your jerseys, your popcorn, your sodas, whatever you gotta do to get ready for this game. I don't care if you're a cheerleader, an athlete, a couch potato. We're here to restore the field. Matter of fact, how do you say it from New York? What I say from New York? Hey, yo, let's go now. Hey, yo, I bring that New York energy. Talking 42nd Street. Alley hoop finger roll. Ain't nobody checking me. Crossover through the legs. Step back, hit a three. Still up in the hood, but got big baller tendencies. She just trying to get flued out to John Kennedy. Just to see the Knicks play. Make a couple memories. New York, if you ain't from here, don't pretend to be. And if you ain't rocking with the Knicks, you an enemy. Yeah, look at us. Whole city is wild. This is New York. Why y'all ever counted us out? Any game we attend, yeah, we taking it now. Fast break on the court, all up and down. Lead a garden in the pigsty. Yeah, we get it on this side. Bacon, egg, and cheese or the lobster mac with the ribeye. Either way, we winning the overtime if we get tired. Get it with the team, yeah, that's just something we live hands, put your hands up. Yo, put your hands